Currently, there is too little integration, I would say, between the communications and the things we do for cars and buses and so forth, and also the infrastructure.
We look at how can a vehicle detect that an accident might occur, and what could a vehicle or some other device do to avoid that accident.
In the future, as the technology of sensing equipment develops, we hope that we will get more information from the road. So then this kind of active safety system is not blind.
Sustainable transportation infrastructure is absolutely essential to building societies that will thrive and prosper for generations to come. Road2Science Center brings academics together with industry to focus on effective research and practical solutions. A few examples. We're looking at both the mechanics and the chemistry of infrastructure materials. This way we can design the materials based on their individual components. We're researching life cycle cost analysis so planners can assess materials, design, maintenance and environmental impacts before construction starts. We're studying ways to produce asphalt at lower temperatures, which could save huge amount of energy during road building. And we're looking at on-the-road charging systems that will help speed the adoption of electrical vehicles.
Road2Science Center is founded on three main pillars: research, education, and internationalization. Partners include major construction companies, materials manufacturers, and other research institutes. And of course, with its focus on multidisciplinary research and collaboration aimed at improving safety on Swedish roads, SAFER recognizes the opportunities arising from this new Swedish research constellation.
Infrastructure is, of course, very important. And when I say infrastructure, road infrastructure, I think both of the road itself and the stuff, the guardrails, maybe the lines, all the things that make it to a traffic environment. One thing is, of course, the actual planning of the road. How is it? How can the driver on the road intuitively understand how fast to go or where to turn? And then you have the material of the road that's very important for the contact, the wheels. And sometimes you could say that you put a lot of effort in understanding the wheels, but how much do you understand about the surface? So that interaction is very important. Another aspect on infrastructure is when you look into the future and you talk about automated vehicles or vehicles that communicate with themselves and with the surroundings, then the road is of course one point of communication. So can you rely on the information from the road, which is maybe in the road? It could be signs, it could be lines, but it could also be technical devices that send information.
The cars will be able to communicate with the infrastructure, the driver, and also with each other. In that way, that information can be communicated freely among these major three parties. We can know where exactly the car should be directed on the way. In that case, we can control the car in a better way. So we can make use of the vehicle dynamics in the best way in order to direct the car, to help the driver.
Transportation infrastructure is as old as civilization itself, yet it remains a field ripe for innovations that not long ago were the stuff of science fiction, from self-driving vehicles to energy-generating road surfaces. But the immediate challenge for the sector, as defined in Swedish and EU transportation policy, is to reduce costs, cut energy consumption and greenhouse gas emissions, improve safety, and drive economic growth with fast, efficient movement of people and goods. These goals are central to the Road2Science mission, and they also dovetail with SAFER's research profile.
So in my department we have research groups in signal processing, communication systems, wireless communication, positioning, mechatronics and automatic controls. These are all enabling technologies for automated and cooperative driving to enhance, for instance, traffic safety and traffic efficiency. Automated means that the vehicle is driving without user input, so the driver is not so active in the driving. So it's like cruise control but on steroids, we would say, right? And cooperative means that different road vehicles and infrastructure close to the road cooperate in order to solve this driving task. This leads to safer roads if we can let the machines do some of the tasks which they are good at, which we as humans might be not as good at. So essentially it's like support to the drivers and who are using the roads. It could also be pedestrians and bicyclists and things like that. We need to build trust in systems by doing solid research and introduce these systems gradually on the market. So of course I'm not willing to risk my life today on a prototype system, but we know from, for instance, from the airline industry that we're comfortable now with autopilots and automated takeoff and landing, for instance. We don't give that much of a thought. And I foresee that this will also happen in roads, like in cars and buses and so forth.
For me, as a researcher, I'm very interested in how can we improve the information from the infrastructure itself to the driver. Like, for example, how do I know that there's a steep curve on the other side of this forest that I'm passing? We cannot trust just the electronics and all the automatic systems. We still have to have this, shall I call it, this last point of safety, where the driver has full information to make the right decisions.
Now Road2Science is widening its network of contacts with our industry partners. At the same time, we reach out to more students and researchers. Employees at any level are welcome to take part in our online courses and seminars, where you'll gain valuable new skills and contacts. We're very open to suggestions for research topics from our partners. Whether you go to work in a suit and tie or a hard hat, we'd like to hear your ideas on how research can make your job more effective. Students and staff can apply for scholarships in the Road2Science Co-op Exchange to spend some time working with industry. By being part of Road2Science, you'll join an active, multidisciplinary network, you'll be in touch with the latest developments in transport infrastructure technology, and you'll help make Sweden an international frontrunner in sustainable, reliable infrastructure.